From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
It's Friday, November 20th, and right now on Good Morning Indiana.
I do feel depressed, but yes, I worked. I worked to try and cover it up, or it doesn't work.
Only on Good Morning Indiana, a painful milestone for a Hoosier mother who lost 4 daughters in a fire that was intentionally set. Why State Police Superintendent says this is not a cold case.
We are preparing for the numbers to get bigger. We are preparing to make sure we have the space to care for the patients.
Coronavirus cases continue to surge here in Indiana. The reason one hospital says they're now pitching tents in the parking lot.
People were coming in right and left.
Plus, Hiring Hoosiers continues to sniff out new job opportunities. The local animal hospital welcoming new applicants with tails wagging. And it is 6 o'clock here on our Friday TGIF, guys. We made it to the end of this work week. Raphael, I cannot believe November 20th. Where did the month go?
It's been moving really quick. Thanksgiving is next week. Todd Clausen, you have a great forecast. By all the standards for November, this is going to be a great day in central Indiana.
Yeah, and you really need to take advantage of it, Raphael, because these kind of days, they don't last very long in the month of November, especially this late into the month. And we do have some big changes heading our way over the weekend. Now, yesterday, obviously extremely windy across the area. We had that wind advisory in place. There's still some decent wind gusts up there around 30 miles per hour. But here's the good news. As we progress throughout the day, the wind will continue to diminish. And by this evening, it's not much of a factor at all. But the wind's still out of the southwest. And that is key because that's what's going to allow our temperatures to warm once again into the 60s. And it's also what's keeping our temperatures in the 50s right now. Little band of cloud cover working its way through. Some high, thin clouds. No threat of any rainfall in the forecast for the day today. And the temperatures actually come up a degree in Indianapolis from last hour. That's with that cloud cover moving in. We're now at 56 degrees, 54 in Bloomington, 55 in Peru. A great day for us, as Raphael mentioned, with partly cloudy skies. Mild temperatures. We're into the 60s already by the noon hour. It's not as windy this afternoon with high temperatures anywhere between about 62, Lauren, and 66 degrees.
All right, Todd, thanks. Let's take a look at traffic as you're heading out the door this Friday morning. US 31 up at Main Street. This is in the Carmel area. Good morning to you. You can see traffic here on US 31 is traveling smoothly both northbound and southbound. No delays up there in Hamilton County to slow down your commute. Raphael?
Lauren, this morning we begin with a heartbreaking milestone for a Carroll County family. Tomorrow marks 4 years since the fatal fire which killed 4 sisters. That fire on East Columbia Street in Flora occurred on November the 21st, 2016, and today remains part of an ongoing arson investigation. The 4 girls who died, they ranged in age from 5 through 11 years old. Right now, there is a reward offering up to $5,000 for any information that would lead to an arrest in this case. We spoke to the girl's mother, who grieves every day for her 4 daughters.
It's very emotional, not only because it's Thanksgiving. I'm always like this, y'all. It's all the holidays. It's, it's just very hard. I just tell whoever knows something or feels something, go talk about it, because you hiding it or you keeping it in, it's not doing nothing but hurting you.
We have more of our conversation with Galen Rose coming up in our next half hour here on Good Morning Indiana. And Lauren, we'll also hear from the state police superintendent and what he believes is happening and what he's saying about this ongoing investigation.
Raphael, thank you. Here at 6:05, new coronavirus cases are rising in Indiana. This morning, the state health officials are reporting more than 7,100 new cases since the pandemic began. More than 275,000 Hoosiers have tested positive for COVID-19. Health officials report 59 more Hoosiers have died with the virus. Since March, nearly 4,900 Hoosiers have died with the coronavirus. Taking a look now at the state's hospital resources on your screen this morning, just 21% of the state's ICU beds remain available. And at this hour, 73% of the state's ventilators are ready for use.
And you might have noticed these tents outside of Methodist Hospital in downtown Indianapolis. A now deleted social media post claimed the tents were being used for patients because the hospital ran out of beds. But the chief nursing officer for IU Health Methodist and university hospitals says that is not the case, and the tents have been up since the spring as a precaution. But they have seen a steep increase in hospitalizations in just the last few days and are working to step up their intensive care capacity.
We are not at 100% capacity with our ICU level, but we are getting tight. As we see these numbers increase, the acuity or the seriousness of the illness that we're seeing in the patients is increasing. And so having ICU level space available is going to be a priority for us. So we are preparing for the numbers to get bigger. We are preparing to make sure we have the space to care for the patients and so that we can provide care if they need it.
Numbers from the State Department of Health show that 3,063 people are hospitalized with COVID-19 across our state. A tutoring service is seeking to fill the gap as more and more kids are forced to learn home as school systems return to virtual learning. WRTV's Nicole Griffin joins us live this morning from Fishers in Hamilton County with more details on this resource in our community. Nicole, good morning.
Raphael, good morning. As schools prepare to close their doors again across central Indiana due to COVID-19 cases, Sylvan Learning, which has 4 central Indiana locations, they're doing everything they can to make sure they stay open. And that is because they know parents are still relying on them for that in-person help for their students. And they say because their buildings are a lot smaller than most local schools, the mask wearing, the sanitizing, and the social distancing is a lot easier to track. I talked to one local mom who relies on Sylvan for one of her sons.
What 2 sounds does A make?
F and A.
Yes.
Avery Mills is a 3rd grade student in Warren Township. His mom, Precious, works from home. In the spring when schools shut down, she did virtual learning with Avery and his 2 siblings.
There you go.
There are days where I feel like I'm, well, I don't want to say being the perfect parent, but like on it. I made up a schedule on doing it, and then there are days I'm just like, everyone's taking a break today because I can't.
Next week, all 3 kids will be back at home doing virtual learning once again, which she says can be overwhelming, especially when it comes to Avery.
Just hard to talk about, when your kid's behind, he's in 3rd grade reading at like a kindergarten level. I think they got him up to almost 1st grade at this point, and I can see it at home.
In the car.
Precious knew she needed to get Avery more help. After an assessment with Sylvan Learning in August, Avery now does 3 sessions a week with his tutor, Hannah.
We know that right now, during that pandemic, it's so important for families to be supported consistently, especially with everything being bumpy.
During the pandemic, Sylvan offers the same lessons in person and virtually. Their main focus is on writing, reading, and math. And after just a few months, Precious says, Avery is now excited about learning.
It's been going great. I'll keep on practicing so I can get better at it.
And he's more confident, which I love because he's, as hard as it is for a parent, it's more hard for the child when they're trying to learn stuff. They go to school all day, they come home, they're still learning, He was even overwhelmed.
And the leaders here at Sylvan Learning know that money can be a barrier when it comes to families signing up for their tutoring services. And that's why coming up here at 5:30, we're going to tell you about some Black Friday deals. They are slicing prices nearly 50% to help families out during the pandemic. Working for you live in Fishers this morning, Nicole Griffin, WRTV.
New developments from WRTV investigates. A Hancock County judge has ordered a Greenfield monument company to refund customers thousands of dollars. Greenfield Granite is accused of taking money from grieving families because they did not finish their headstones. So far this month, a judge has awarded more than $5,000 in judgments against the company. These small claims lawsuits are in addition to the lawsuit that was filed by the Indiana Attorney General's office. The head of the company, Amy Stroll, she died by suicide back in September, and her husband has filed for bankruptcy.
At 6:10, getting a flu shot is more important than ever this year due to the COVID-19 pandemic. And you can get one for free today thanks to the Colts, Meyer, and the State Health Department. They've teamed up to host a free flu shot clinic Friday outside of Lucas Oil Stadium from 7 a.m. until 1 p.m. It's open to anyone, regardless of your insurance coverage. Vehicles need to enter from Gate 8, located off South Capitol Avenue. You will fill out paperwork, get your temperature taken, pass a verbal COVID-19 screening, and then you'll get your shot. You will remain in your car while receiving a shot. Now they want you to know that walk-ups are also welcome, and walk-ups need to enter off Gate 7. That's off South Capitol Avenue. Raphael.
And the pandemic has brought families closer together with their pets. After the break, how that's leading to an uptick in business and job opportunities for one local animal hospital. But first, here's your weather outlook with our very own Todd Clausen. Good morning, TK.
Hey, Raphael. Good morning to you. Happy Friday, everybody. Today is going to be a great day of weather for us with temperatures in the 60s, and you need to take advantage of today with highs in the 60s because our average high is 50 degrees, obviously above that today. But look what happens over the weekend. Not only does it trend colder, it trends wetter, and some of you may see your first snowflakes of the season as well over the course of the weekend. We'll break it all down for you coming up in your Storm Team forecast.
Welcome back. WRTV's Hiring Hoosiers remains committed to scoping out local job opportunities. And Raphael, no doubt over the course of this pandemic, we've bonded closely with our pets.
So this morning, WRTV's Mark Mullins, he shows us how a locally owned animal hospital is looking to hire and educate workers to handle an uptick in vet visits.
It's another day on the job for Nate Swegman.
The box for oxygen.
Not every day is easy on the job, but every day Nate goes home feeling like he made a difference.
It's not what playing with puppies and kitties. Unfortunately, most of the time they are sick here. And you have to have that mindset like I want to help them get better.
Nate is a registered vet tech, assisting veterinarians with surgeries.
Today I'm an anesthetist, so I run the anesthesia and all the kiddos having different procedures done, like dentals.
He's been in the field for 7 years, working for Noaa's animal hospitals for the last 2, and finishing his bachelor's degree in veterinary nursing thanks to the support of managers here at Noaa's, allowing him to take his career to the next level.
I was talking to her about maybe going to school one day, and she's like, why not? I'm like, that's a good question. Why not? So she kind of pushed me to better myself to get more education in the veterinary field.
Noaa's Animal Hospitals is a family-run business around for 35 years with 9 locations across central Indiana. While the COVID-19 pandemic forced many businesses to downsize or even close, that was not the case for the veterinary medicine industry, not by a long shot.
We have absolutely exploded with business.
Stephen Phillips is the human resources coordinator for Noaa's.
Our business grew exponentially. People were coming in right and left, and a lot of that may have been because they were home more and noticed that something with Fluffy or Fido was wrong that maybe they did notice before.
He says now the company needs to add more workers to its team of roughly 250 employees, and it's looking for all types of experience levels for a number of open positions, from entry-level pet care specialists, which includes walking and feeding pets.
She's fully invoiced.
To client service reps, to veterinary technicians and assistants.
I am a client service representative, cross-training to be a veterinary assistant.
Across town, Scarlett West started this job with no experience, just a love for animals. And while she's excelling at one job, greeting clients, scheduling appointments, and answering phones, she's training for another to work more closely with the animals.
Yeah, so they do very well with training and being super supportive and push me to be like the best that I can be. They have known since I started that I wanted to be a technician.
She's on the right path, and thanks to a local Hoosier business surviving the pandemic,
All right, there's that back for you, and they should be back in shortly.
She can remain true to her childhood passion.
Ever since I was little, I've always loved animals. I've never pictured myself doing anything other than working in veterinary medicine.
Working for you, Mark Mullins, WRTV.
And Mark has more details on the story. Mark, thank you. By the way, the pay rate for entry-level positions at Noaa's animal hospitals starts at about $10 an hour. Flexible schedules are available at a number of locations around Indianapolis. And you can connect to Noaa's career page by going to our website, hiringhoosiers.com. Now time to check your Friday forecast with the one and only Todd Clausen.
And Raphael, it's a good forecast for us here today. In fact, today is the best day that I have not only in my 7-day planning forecast, but maybe at least the next 10 to 14 days, because it's going to be warm, it's going to be dry, and there's some big changes heading our way starting tomorrow. The winds will continue to diminish this morning. It was a big issue for us yesterday, not as much of an issue for us today. So the winds diminish, which is great. The temperatures remain mild, which is even better. And then this evening, if you have plans, still very comfortable for you all across the area. Temperatures right now are sitting in the 50s anywhere you go. 58 in Lafayette, 56 in Indy, Bloomington at 54 degrees, a pair of fives as you work your way from Tipton through Kokomo up US 31 there into the Peru area. And we'll stay in the 50s this morning. We may go down a degree here or there, but for the most part, we hold steady. And by the time we get to the noon hour, temperatures are already up right around 60 degrees. Now, as far as cloud cover goes, there's probably a little more around at times today than there was during the day yesterday when we got up to 65. And you notice some high thin clouds making their way through the area right now. But we remain dry. All the precipitation is still well off to our west. But eventually, this is going to get here as we work our way into the day tomorrow. Here are those high temperatures. Keep in mind your normal high is 50 degrees, so going up into the mid to upper 60s today. 68 in Lafayette as well as Petersburg. 65 today in Anderson. 64, a very common number here through the central portion of the state. And as we slide down to the south, temperatures in the mid 60s in Columbus as well as Bedford at 62 degrees. This evening, if you have Friday night plans, you're just fine. Grab the light jacket. We'll be in the 50s with clouds that'll start to increase this evening. Now tomorrow, we have rain back in the forecast. It's probably just a stray shower here throughout the afternoon hours. I really wouldn't worry about too much if you have anything planned outdoors tomorrow until after, I would say, 4 o'clock as we get closer to sunset. Notice it's also a lot cooler tomorrow with high temperatures that will only be in the 40s. I want to jump ahead to the rainfall percentages here for you. This is starting Saturday. Again, today is dry. I'm jumping ahead here for you. 4 p.m. Saturday, here's that spot shower, but notice how we ramp things up. And by the time we get to midnight and beyond, as we head into Sunday morning, a steady rain is going to be falling all across the area. And here it is on TrueCast 430. The rain showers start to move in from the west. And that steady rain falls throughout the overnight hours. Could even be heavy at times. And in some of the intenser bands of rain, we could switch over to a little bit of snow shower activity, especially in northern locations as you wake up on Sunday morning. Don't be shocked if you see some snow in northern locales. It should just melt away when it hits the ground. We're not expecting any accumulation, especially at least on the roadways. And then the rainfall will come to an end as we work our way into the middle half of Sunday. But it's a pretty good soaking that's heading our way. Again, starting tomorrow evening through Sunday morning, many locations up over an inch of rain by the time things wrap up Sunday afternoon. Sunday only 46 degrees. And then next week, pretty chilly with more opportunities for rainfall Tuesday, Wednesday. I kept the showers out of the forecast on Thanksgiving Day, but we may have to add them in depending how quick that system moves out. But at least Thanksgiving looks fairly mild with a high of 55.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. Shoppers once again stocking up on those cleaning supplies, making them tough to find. Still ahead, we're giving you some tips to find these popular products so you don't waste your money.
Head outside on this Friday morning. Can't wait to see the upcoming sunrise. Make sure to follow Todd Clausen on Twitter for that. But this morning, a big good morning to Danville, Columbus, and Kokomo. You're watching Good Morning Indiana right here on WRTV.
All right, it is 6:24. Raphael, I know Mrs. Sanchez is a wonderful kindergarten teacher, right? And I think maybe she could use some ideas for some new songs, right, for her classroom?
She's always looking for some good ideas, and that woman is always singing. She has a beautiful voice, by the way, not because she's my wife, but because she does, and she does love to sing, so.
Yeah, so here's a song for her. Listen up.
6 feet, you gotta be 6 feet apart.
So this is a North Carolina social studies teacher, Yvonne Drew. She's known for making up songs to entertain and motivate her students. This song has a particularly important message, that is. The teacher of 15 years wore gloves and carried around a bottle of disinfectant wipes under her arm as she danced in the hallway, warning students with her social distancing jingle. Ms. Drew says that the students laughed at her performance, and of course they followed those social distancing protocols. So there you go, only a couple words.
Yeah, I think Mrs. Sanchez could do that.
Yeah.
That she would be against me taping her do that, but I think she'd be up for that. I'll talk to her here in a few minutes as she comes up and gets ready to head out to school. And Lauren, on this Friday, it's time to enjoy the fall foliage plus some friends. There's the friends. This is a picture from Donna Schmink. This was taken in Morgan County, and she says that Rocky and his troop had the best time gliding from tree to tree. Now, we don't see the rest of the troop, but as you can see, Rocky is doing well, and Todd Clausen, we are seeing some leaves still hanging out here in central Indiana, but less and less every single day, especially after that windy Thursday.
Yeah, a lot of the leaves are down, and as we go into the coming days, Raphael, we're going to add quite a bit of rainfall into the forecast, and that'll probably take any of the remaining leaves down. If they're still in your yard, by the way, you have today and also the first half of Saturday to get them up before all that rain arrives, which we'll talk more about the rainfall in detail coming up in the next half hour of Good Morning Indiana. As you walk out the door, though, this morning, the sky should start to brighten here shortly, and temperatures are in great shape as we begin this Friday. We're in the mid-50s in many locations, 56 from Indianapolis over towards Muncie, 53 in Bloomington. Highs today going up to about 63 degrees with partly cloudy skies. That puts us well above normal. The normal high is 50 degrees, and most of all, the big difference from yesterday, Lauren, is the winds. They will come down here throughout the day today. It's a little breezy right now, but they'll come as the afternoon wears on. Enjoy today, because again, that rain is coming starting tomorrow evening. More on that in just a few minutes.
All right, Todd, thank you. Well, winter is coming, and COVID-19 shows no signs of letting up, and that means many of us are trying to again stock up on those cleaning supplies. But where are all the Lysol and Clorox wipes? Again, working for you, our John Matarese shows us how to find those hard-to-find items so you don't waste your money.
They've become the holy grail this pandemic year, disinfectant cleaning supplies. But we've found ways to get your hands on them without paying twice the price. Does this look familiar? Just one bottle of Pine Sol or Lysol spray on the store shelves. Better grab it before there's a fight in aisle 7. And forget about wipes. Have you found any Lysol or Clorox wipes?
Not in the past month.
Actually, I have not, and it's very frustrating.
While there's now a toilet paper surplus, it can still be frustrating finding Lysol and Clorox wipes, Windex, scrubbing bubbles, and Formula 409. Coleman Henderson owns a cleaning company. He sometimes has to tell homeowners he can't come out.
I have to postpone jobs that I can accept because I'm short on cleaning supplies.
You'll often find these items on Amazon or eBay, but at 2 to 3 times retail price.
People are really struggling right now.
The watchdog group US Purg says even though Amazon is cracking down on gouging, it continues.
The products that they really need to keep themselves safe at ridiculous prices.
So what can you do? Visit your local hardware store. Stan Beck says while he struggles to get name brands,
all the national brands are hard to get. So like the Windex.
He has off brands that work just as well.
You know, this is a basic product like Windex, okay, but just a different brand.
He even has generic paper towels in case you can't find Bounty. So what can you do? Visit the grocery store first thing in the morning. Purchase store brands. They work. Get to know the manager of your local hardware store. Some will hold products for you if you ask. And check Amazon frequently. But resist the urge to pay twice the price online because that only encourages sellers to charge more. So always don't waste your money. I'm John Matarese. Good Morning, Indiana.
From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
And we are streaming on this Friday. Welcome to Good Morning Indiana. This is your 6:30 news feed. 2 people injured after a police chase led to a crash on the west side of Indianapolis. The chase began when police say they spotted suspects in a burglary reported near West 10th Street and North Tibbs Avenue. The suspect's car later crashed near North Meridian and West 29th Street. A pedestrian was hit during that crash and we're told remains in critical condition.
Governor Holcomb has named the state's first Secretary of Education. Holcomb's senior education advisor, Katie Jenner, will begin her new role on January 11th. Holcomb signed a bill in 2017 to make Indiana's top education official an appointed position rather than an elected one by voters.
A reminder that this Tuesday night, we're taking a closer look at the COVID crisis right here in our state. You'll hear from a 30-year-old man who survived a harrowing battle with the virus, plus candid conversations with healthcare workers who are putting their lives on the line to protect all of us. We're also talking with the experts, everything you need to know about the potential vaccines as well. Our WRTV News special, Inside the COVID Crisis, airs this Tuesday at 7 p.m. But first we begin on this day. I'm going to declare this, Lauren and Todd, a fantastic Friday. Can I do that?
I mean, I think so, especially on a Friday. Todd, what do you think? You're the guy with all the numbers, so is it going to be a fantastic Friday?
I think it will. Anytime you're 10 to 15 degrees above normal this time of year, late November, I think anything in that territory is a fantastic, whether it's Friday or a Thursday or a wonderful Wednesday, terrific Tuesday. It doesn't really matter as you're above normal and you have sunshine to boot. Things will be changing, though, so that's why you need to enjoy today. 50s right now. The wind, these are sustained wind numbers that you see right now from 12 to 18 miles per hour. Here are the wind gusts still, and they continue to diminish. That's the good news, but it's still a little breezy this morning, and these winds will continue to die down as the day goes on. That's the good news, and by this afternoon, we'll have just a little breeze, and that should be just about it. This band of cloud cover is moving through. It goes through rather uneventful throughout the day today, and as far as the temperatures, here's why it's so nice. We're already into the 60s early in the afternoon. That's where we stay throughout much of the afternoon. Maybe a little more in the way of cloud cover around today, at least compared to yesterday. But again, the temperatures with diminishing winds makes for a very, very nice Friday. Now tomorrow it's colder. Rain arrives as we head into the evening hours on Saturday. And then some of you could even be waking up to some snow on Sunday morning. More on all that coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Todd, thank you. Let's take a look at traffic as you're heading out on the roads this morning. Take me up here to the dogleg, I-65 and I-865. You can see traffic here is picking up this morning. Everything looks to be traveling up to speed. No major delays to slow down your commute. So we're going to continue to keep a close eye on your roads throughout the morning and let you know if there are any trouble spots you should avoid on this Friday. Raphael?
Lauren, we begin with another alarming jump for the coronavirus here in our state. The State Department of Health reports more than 7,400 new COVID-19 cases. That's an increase of more than 1,000 from Wednesday's numbers. You can see here that every day this past week, the state has reported more than 5,000 new cases. More than 275,000 total cases have been confirmed since the pandemic began in Indiana. 59 more Hoosiers have also died with the virus. That brings the state's death toll now to 4,889.
Well, the U.S. Center for Disease Control and Prevention officially advising Americans not to travel at all for the holidays. The agency says travel right now could spread the virus from one part of the country to another. But for those who are still planning to visit family, the CDC urges people to wear masks, social distance, and wash your hands.
Indianapolis-based Eli Lilly and Company now has emergency use authorization for another treatment to help those people that are in the hospital being treated for COVID-19. Lilly says the FDA granted emergency authorization for Barinsetanyb. The drug is an anti-inflammatory that commonly treats rheumatoid arthritis. A study showed that when it's combined with remdesivir, it helps people recover from COVID faster and shortens their hospital stay. Now, while this is an emergency use authorization, Barinsetanyb has not officially been approved by the FDA to treat COVID-19. The FDA is still evaluating the efficacy and the safety of this treatment in ongoing clinical trials. Earlier this month, Eli Lilly received an EAU for its experimental antibody treatment.
Well, it's been 4 years since tragedy hit the town of Flora. Next, the message from the mother of 4 young girls as investigators continue to try to solve this deadly mystery. At 6:34, we'll be right back after this short break. Welcome back. Raphael, the heartache is never ending for the family of 4 girls from Flora who were killed in a house fire 4 years ago.
And Lauren, in this case, the victims' ages range from 5 to 11 years old. And state police this morning are still hoping for a lead in this case that will break this case, a case that shocked a community and devastated a mother.
4 years later, say their names: Kiana, Kiara, Cariel, and Kiani, the sisters killed in an arson fire on East Columbia Street in Flora on November 21st, 2016. Another painful Thanksgiving with 4 empty seats. Galen Rose is the girl's mother.
I miss them like no other. It's been 4 years, y'all. I had a normal life before that night. And for it to just change dramatically It confuses me. It hurts me. And I just have no understanding to it at all.
The girl's aunt, Jackie Partlow, still lives in Flora. This remains an unsolved arson investigation. What do you want the public to know?
We're not going to give up. We're not going to let this case go cold. I won't sit back and allow those girls' deaths to be in vain.
State police say there are no new developments in the investigation. Superintendent Doug Carter says this is not a cold case.
Somebody out there knows, and whether the tips continue to come in, or if they don't, and once they stop, we start all over and we start building again.
5, 6, 7, 8.
The girl's mother is comforted by memories of her daughter's enthusiasm and creativity, which she believes would have served them well during this pandemic.
My girls would not agree with this disease at all. I can honestly say that they would have not agreed with the homeschool. They wouldn't have agreed with the computer work. They would be like, let me out. What is going on? We are not staying in this house.
4 sisters denied a future.
I want my babies here with me.
Victims of a crime that presently needs someone, anyone, to step up and speak out.
This morning, if you have any information about this ongoing criminal investigation, you're asked to call the tip line hotline number there on your screen. That number is 1-800-382-4628. A reward of up to $5,000 is being offered to encourage anyone with any information to step forward. Lauren?
Raphael, thank you. We know many schools are going virtual yet again, but how much of COVID-19 is actually being spread in the classroom? Next, one of the nation's top doctors weighs in as students start to head back home.
And this, Lauren, could be a learning lifesaver. Coming up, our Nicole Griffin has a story of the people hoping to help kids being told to learn from home because of the pandemic. And Todd Clausen, I stepped outside just moments ago. It is great out there for a November.
Yeah, not bad at all, Raphael. We're in the 50s this morning. Here's where your high temperatures are going today, into the 60s. Take advantage because the cool down starts tomorrow with temperatures only in the 40s. And by Sunday morning, some of you could be even seeing a little bit of snow. We'll talk all about it coming up in your WRTV Storm Team forecast when Good Morning Indiana continues.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. Today will be the last day for in-person learning at IPS. The school system will go 100% virtual beginning on Monday. And that's a week before all Marion County schools are required to be online. Now, while the intent is to prevent the spread of the vid, the head of the CDC says now that schools are not the main source of the COVID spread.
The infections that we've identified in schools when they've been evaluated were not acquired in schools. They were actually acquired in the community and in the household. It's small family gatherings where people become more comfortable. They remove their face mask and they get together, and it's this silent epidemic that begins to transmit. But it's not inter-school transmission. The truth is, for kids K through 12, one of the safest places they can be.
CDC Director Robert Redfield made those remarks during the White House Coronavirus Task Force press conference, which happened yesterday. He says it would be counterproductive to close schools in an effort to contain the virus. And that was the first media briefing for the task force since July. Back here at home this morning, students across central Indiana are waking up this morning preparing just to log into their online classrooms. Lauren?
Yeah, and it comes as many schools, Raphael, are closing back down due to the rising number of COVID-19 cases across the state. And so WRTV's own Nicole Griffin is working for you. She's finding how a local resources right here in central Indiana is working to help families out during this pandemic. Hey, Nicole.
Lauren, good morning. When the pandemic started, Sylvan Learning transitioned their company to completely virtual in just 36 hours. And that is because leaders here say they know how important their services are for the future of the children they serve. And that is why this Black Friday, they are slicing their prices nearly in half just to help parents out during the pandemic. I talked to one mom who relies on Sylvan for her son.
And that just means that there's a bossy E, and it's going to make it stand up and what?
say its name.
Like home.
Third grader Avery used to dread going to school, but now his mother says he's excited, especially when it comes to sessions with his tutor, Hannah.
She's great. She's great. She's perfect.
From that first meeting, I really felt like, they, along with me, wanted to put him first, and they've been doing that ever since then.
Precious Mills, Avery's mom, works from home. In the spring, when school shut down, she did virtual learning with all 3 of her kids.
It was like a wreck coming in here just because, being frustrated with everything. But they sat down, and I think we even had shared some tears together, which was, just overwhelmed and needing help for him.
Avery now does 3 sessions a week with a big focus on improving his reading skills. Precious says he has a long way to go, but I asked her what it's like to see her son now building confidence.
Amazing. I've never been more, I told Hannah, I've never been more encouraged about his educational future since I started with Sylvan.
Avery and his siblings will transition back to e-learning next week, like many students across the state. And Sylvan wants to help parents that are looking for extra assistance. That is why on Black Friday, they're offering a special deal.
We cut our prices significantly, so that way families like Precious and Avery can come in and just have a financial burden lifted from them. We really, really understand that the coronavirus has really impacted people's lives, both educationally and financially. And this is kind of our day to say we want to help with both.
Now, Precious also tells me that enrolling her son here at Sylvan has been completely worth it. She says she knows how hard it is for parents to ask for help for their children, and she knows that money can be a barrier, but seeing that confidence in Avery makes this all worthwhile. Reporting live this morning in Fishers, Nicole Griffin, WRTV.
Yeah, as a spouse of a teacher, the best of luck to all families dealing with remote learning. We are with you. The coronavirus has put the brakes on many holiday traditions this year, but not the mysterious return of the bronze cherub on the old Ayers clock in downtown Indianapolis. The cherub is set to return the night before Thanksgiving, just as it has done now for more than 70 years. But in the meantime, the clock has been undergoing some restoration, and the cherub has been buffed up as well. Indiana Landmarks shared this video of the facelift with us. When the cherub returns, it will be shinier and Todd cleaner than ever before. And be sure to look up there at the intersection of Washington and Meridian Streets in downtown Indianapolis to see the Indianapolis icon. And listen, I don't want to bust any sort of bubbles or anything, but Todd, I think that our producer Judy Carboni, who loves this cherub like no other, is the one who puts it up every year. That's my thought. I'm just thinking.
I know, it just miraculously appears. So she might sneak out there in the middle of the night and hang it up, and then just shows up here to work like nothing ever happened. So I don't know. You might be onto something, Raphael. You are part of the investigative unit here. So I just predict the weather, and it's going to be a good day all across the area. We're starting off with some windy conditions. The sky's just starting to brighten a little bit here across central Indiana at the top of the hour. When we show you this, it'll be a much brighter picture. 56 degrees right now. The air's really, really dry. You may have noticed that in your house. You may have to fire up the humidifier here to get some moisture in your house as the air is very dry. Winds sustained at 18 miles per hour. Here are your wind gust forecasts throughout the day today. And they're going to be the highest right now. As we progress throughout the day, the wind speeds and the gusts will continue to diminish. And as we work our way into the evening hours, we basically see the gusty winds come to an end, and there's just going to be a little bit of a breeze later on today. So that's improvement as far as the wind goes, and temperature is great this morning as you walk out the door. We're in the 50s anywhere you go across the area, and we'll warm all the way up into the low 60s later on this afternoon. We'll kind of toggle back and forth today between partly to mostly cloudy skies, but it's still mild. The normal high this time of year is 50 degrees. We're going all the way up into the low 60s today. I can't complain about that. Here's this little band of cloud cover that's making its way through the area. We remain dry dry for the entire day today. If you have plans this Friday evening, you're just fine. Sunset's at 5:26. Partly to mostly cloudy skies, temperatures that will be in the 50s. Now, tomorrow's not a washout of a day. There's a lot of dry hours, especially the first half of the day. If you still have leaves in your yard, I would work on them today. I would work on them tomorrow morning before this heavier rain starts to come in. There could be a stray shower early in the afternoon, but it's really not until the evening hours that we start to bring in more of a steady rainfall. And here's that spot shower chance during the morning hours, but then it quickly diminishes. And the best chance tomorrow of seeing that shower in the morning will be south of Indianapolis. Then we get into the main event, which is not going to arrive until the evening hours. There's the time clock just above my head, and I'll move over to the other side for you. And watch how the rain overspreads the area throughout the overnight hours. So the rain's pretty steady late Saturday all the way through Sunday morning. Sunday morning, if you're heading off to church or grabbing a cup of coffee, there's going to be rain, and there's going to even be some snow in northern portions of central Indiana. You're not going to have to worry about slick roads, but if there's some heavier bursts of snow, you could get a little coating on your car. But overall, it's just going to be mainly wet for most of central Indiana, and by Sunday, the noon hour, most of that rain is moving out of the area. But this is going to be a pretty good soaking for us. Definitely need to have the rain gear handy. Many locations going to be up over an inch of rain from Saturday night through noon on a Sunday. As you work your way a little further to the north, rainfall total is going to be a little less. But overall, yeah, half an inch to an inch of rain with some areas that could be seeing even a little bit more. Behind that front on Sunday, cooler temperatures next week. Monday's dry, but then it's a little unsettled Tuesday, Wednesday, and even maybe for Thanksgiving. But the good news is, at least for Thanksgiving, especially with it being pretty late in November this year, temperatures will be above normal at 55 degrees.
Todd, thank you so much. So many of us are decking the halls early this year, but coming up today on Good Morning America, why putting up that tree could actually be good for your mental health.
And there is a new baby in town. Good News Friday is next, and we'll show you the new bundle of joy who's already taken to the water right here in Indianapolis. It's 6:51. Stick around. We'll be right back. It is 6:54 as we wrap up our work week here on Good Morning Indiana. Raphael, we do so with Good News Friday. And COVID-19, we know, has been tough on so many ways for hospitals. And that means that for Riley Hospital for Children, it had to put a pause on its on-site volunteer program.
But you know what, Lauren? The spirit of volunteers are always out there wanting to do good. And of course, they continue to make a difference. So let's start with this one. Go Jaguars, because this week, members of the IUPUI swimming and diving team, they showed up at the Children's Hospital to do good. The athletes used sidewalk chalk to create drawings and words of encouragement at many of the entrances to the hospital. A member of the swim team, Megan Ronci, is a Riley volunteer herself. She says she and her teammates wanted to show the entire staff at Riley that they are two things, that they're loved and that they are respected.
Hello, everybody. I felt thwarted ever since this spring when we had to postpone our Palladium performance, but now I'm coming back for the holidays. A very special holiday show at the Palladium with a very special guest, Sandy Patty.
Well, it may not be in person, but two Hoosier favorites will try to bring some holiday cheer to your home tonight. They'll be putting on a free live show for a virtual audience from the stage of the Palladium up in Carmel. Michael Feinstein will be joined by the legendary Sandy Patty for their show called Home for the Holidays. It's streaming live at 8 o'clock tonight. Again, it's a free show, but you do have to register to get a link to the stream. You can do so at the centerpresents.org.
That will be a great concert. Make sure to register. And all we can say on this Friday is, sweet baby Ray. Check out this adorable stingray who was born last week at the Indianapolis Zoo. She's a cow-nosed ray, and she's now out and about swimming around inside the zoo's touch pool. The zoo staff named her Squiggy because her tail was squiggly from being curled up before she was born. I love that part of the pool, but I'm always afraid, though, of putting my hand in the water. Even though I know it's safe.
Yeah, I always feel like they look so cute.
What if they're hungry?
They look so cute in the pools where you can pet them, but, out in the ocean, they don't look cute at all. So
No.
I'm pretty sure they're well fed in that pool there at the zoo.
Yeah, they're happy.
So they're not worried about your hand there, Raphael. All right, outside right now, the sky's starting to brighten on this Friday morning, and it's going to be a great day for us. We're in the 50s right now all across the area. We're going up to highs today that will be in the 60s. Enjoy today. Colder air tomorrow. Showers develop late Saturday. Steady rain Sunday morning. Could end as a few snowflakes Sunday morning as well in northern locations.
Todd, thank you so much. We're back in 25 minutes and throughout Good Morning America with news, weather, and of course traffic updates. We hope you have a great Friday and a great weekend.